Alrighty, so this one's going to be a bit of a weird one, but I wanted to try Terry out because he is a human character, and I just never really got around to it the other day, or just like in the last like week or so, because there's been a lot of stuff that I wanted to make videos on. But Terry is very interesting. We're going to use him on the Bond team, of course, and he is a PvP only unit. He's not really been in the meta for a while, but he has a Powerstrike ultimate just like Bon. Unfortunately, I don't have it very high level, but he is, at the start of the ally's turn in PvP, applies an effect on the enemy with the highest remaining HP, so I'm pretty sure on turn 1 it's just random, like somebody will get it, which decreases all stats by 20% for 1 turn. So, that's pretty interesting. We can try to use that to guarantee one-shots with Bon, hopefully. And we're going to be using sort of like the human-esque team. I think maybe Red Excalibur Arthur may be better in this scenario. Let me swap him over really quick, but this is basically the same team setup that we're going to do really quick. Alrighty, so we have our first match here. There is a Lost Vein on the team, which could potentially be a bit of an annoyance, but hopefully the idea is we have a lot of ult gauge control here because Terry has an ult removal. Arthur's stance has ult removal. Unfortunately, this charge card, I was planning on using the other Arthur originally. We might still swap to him at some point, but if you don't know, Terry has this great ability where he can sort of set up, and each time you use a stance skill, it increases his stats. And it stacks pretty much indefinitely, so the more you know, stance skills you pull for him, you can just spam those, gain lots of stacks, and then I guess ideally you'll ult, because this card isn't really going to do that much damage. It's just an ult removal card. So we'll see how that goes. Another cool thing is that we do counter no matter who he attacks on, which is really great. I don't think it's necessarily going to be giving us bond stacks, though, from my understanding. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's giving us any attack-related stats. That would have just kind of been, I guess, icing on the cake. That would have been kind of like a nice little bonus there, but it kind of is what it is. We can't really force anything, unfortunately. So let's go for maybe the stance on Arthur. We can throw this out to get a couple more stacks, and then we can use our cards on the DN so that we can go ahead and get rid of her since we've already put the mark on. I'm not super happy that I merged there. I maybe should have waited and not merged, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. That is kind of one of the big things with Bon, is you don't want to waste too many cards just in case you can't pull, because he does require basically 2 different cards to be able to kill. So we do pull an extra Terry stance here, which is great. On top of that, we do have a Bond combo, which is great. I don't necessarily know that we're going to be able to like one-shot Lost Vein, for example, but we can at the very least try to get rid of his Bond, cut down on the amount of cards he can use per turn with Lost Vein, and then kind of take it from there. So his Bond is actually the one that's getting lowered here. You can see from this right here, all stats decreased by 20%. So that's all of his HP and defense-related stats as well. So he should be a lot easier to kill, hopefully. That might have been, I wasn't paying attention, that might have been why the Deanne took so much damage from just the Pierce card in the turn 1. So 116 is not bad at all. This is geared PvP, so take that, you know, number with a, I don't know, with the context. Kill the Bond there pretty easily. We do have Terry's ultimate, and we have a stance that we can throw on beforehand, which is really nice because, like I said, it's going to increase his stats. That's a level 1, so we don't have to worry about that doing anything too crazy. And then the bot really just didn't want to use Lost Vein at all in this game, I guess. So that is what it is. So we can stance up, and then we can double Powerstrike Ultimate, which is kind of cool. Powerstrike Ultimates just hit really hard. Unfortunately, both Powerstrike Ultimates I have are really low level, but you can see, I mean, 500k on Terry. I think we had 2 stacks of his passive on right there, which is pretty nice. I love his windscreen too. It's kind of funny. So either way, let's do a couple more. He's a really fun unit. Alrighty, what do we got here? Ooh, Angel Team. I actually haven't been facing Angel Teams basically at all, so this could be kind of interesting, I guess. He is running the Goddess Liz variant, which means he has a stance cancel if he gets a stun, which could potentially be very annoying. So, who gets the stack here? It is Mael. I think I want to not... I mean, it's not really going to do the greatest amount of damage. I kind of want to see the damage on it. Plus, we have a merge, so I'm willing to waste the combo here in turn 1. Probably not the smartest idea. Okay, 110 on Mael. Mael has some crazy stats, so not bad at all. The unfortunate part is he can basically lifesteal a lot, and we did not pop the res there, which is very unfortunate, so we'll kind of have to see how this goes. Oh, he's purging it off too, which I don't have a follow-up anyway, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. And this is going to be the biggest issue with this team, is that the follow-up damage is non-existent. Like, I really don't have anything to follow up with. Like, that counter is okay at best. His counter legitimately doesn't do a whole lot of damage, which is unfortunate. So we're going to merge here. Do we go for the ultimate on him? Because I mean, even if I break through the shield with Arthur's level 3 card here, it's not like it's really going to be that great. So, do pull a Pierce card, which is nice. He still has res, though, which is unfortunate. Like I said, I have pretty good ult control with this team. So, depending on the shields that he puts up, I could potentially do some pretty decent damage. That's a lot of damage on the Bond. Yeah, you can see the counter. 20k on a counter, not great, but the fact that it counters everybody is nice. Kind of got shut down there a little bit. Luckily, I have 2 taunts, which is great. I can actually push for Arthur's ultimate as well. And then depending... He's already back up to full. Okay, well, you know... This is kind of the problem with 11k on that card. This is the problem with Bond teams, is that if you run too much support, the damage is non-existent, while if you can't pull Bond cards, because it's a Bond team, you're not going to have any way to really do anything. So I'm in quite the pickle here. Doesn't kill off my Bond just yet, which is good, because I am getting damage reduction with that. He kills. No. I was going to use that ultimate for damage. I got ult removal. I do be having ult removal, though. She's got to have Tarmia Link on. This is not good. Let's go for the level 3. Let's go for this first. Oh, I can't. I've got to take my L's off first, because the Tarmia Link is going to disable me if I attack her twice. So we're just going to go full hand, see how it goes. Removes the ult. Luckily, it actually did enough damage. His is one of the only ult removal cards that actually scales like 1 orb, 2 orb, 3 orbs instead of, oh my god, instead of it being 1 orb on 1 and 2 and then 3 orbs on level 3, which is always kind of bizarre. So I guess we've got that going for us. We still haven't popped the res, so not good. I don't really know what else I can do in this scenario necessarily. Stunning. Okay, I mean, I guess for ult control, maybe. I wonder... I'm less scared of the Margaret ult than I am... Can I please break through this? So it's not going to put up the stack. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, strike that match from the record. Don't let that sway you. Terry from Smash is good, okay? We're gonna... I'll try and prove it to you. Maybe. I don't know that he's good myself. Ooh, okay, interesting team here. I was thinking about it, and I was like, I really don't face too many Bond teams, but this is probably going to be the one day that I face a lot of Bond teams, which is kind of unfortunate, but... realistically, going against Bond, it would be much better to have Green Arthur because of his passive, and we get a lot of debuffs from fighting the whatchamacallit, the Bond here. But turn 1 damage is still looking pretty good. I do have him on attack crit for this video, just so that way we can try to make sure that the burst damage is good enough. Whereas, like, normally if I run him with another, like, damage dealer or something like that, I can try to go for HP defense for CC or whatever the case may be there. Seals my level 2s, which is actually really bad. I can go for Bond's ultimate, which is kind of nice. And I can put up a stance so he can't really follow up too much. He did just use, well, he's got 2 characters that have level 2 ult seals, which could potentially be a big issue, and I don't have the damage that I would need to stop that. So, like, I can't kill any of these characters right now. The ultimate is great and all, but if he has the level 2... Okay, this is a level 1. If he has a level 2 purple card for either of these characters, I would not be able to get rid of it. I forgot that he actually has Pulverize on his card, but luckily the taunt is going to save that. We remove his ultimate, which is actually kind of bad, because now he's going to be able to, like, recycle his Holy Relic proc, which is kind of, you know, bad on our part. The dogs are starting to bark, so I'm gonna try to win this game, and then, ooh, I can't go for Terry's ultimate just yet. I'm going to put up a stance really quick, and then hopefully we can kill Bond here. That'll cut off a lot of his damage source, and then I'll wait for the dogs to start barking, or stop barking before the next game starts. So, give me... Yeah, that should be okay. I don't imagine these two are going to be able to stop me in my tracks here. They do have Holy Relic proc, but... and I'm not getting the other side of the Bond cards, but I'll let you know how it went. We should be in the clear, though. Alrighty, long loading time on this one, so it's probably a real player. Is this red Lost Vein with blue? Yeah, it's red Lost Vein, but with blue Lost Vein's outfit, which is kind of funny to me. I was going to mention that it's really unfortunate, actually, that I'm using Terry here, and it's only unfortunate because I kind of have done, for whatever reason, the KOF collab has never really been one that I've just invested into a lot. So the same thing with Kyo. Every time I use Kyo, I'm always like, man, I really wish I had Kyo's outfits, because I just, for some reason, I don't think I've bought a single outfit for any of the KOF characters, if I'm not mistaken. I really was thinking about it during the last, like, the rerun that they did for KOF, but I was like, Kyo's kind of already dropped out of the meta at this point. Like, he's not really that worth investing into. Like, I don't use him that often, and then every time I do use him, I'm like, man, really wish I had that, really wish I had that, those costumes. And unfortunately, Terry's in the same boat. I do not have Terry's costumes either. Ooh, we take that. Did we lower his, were we lowering his stats? It doesn't look like it. Okay, his bond is just kind of wimpy, I guess. Okay. But yeah, I don't have any costumes for him. I literally just made an HP defense UR gear set for him today. So you can see where my priorities lie with the KOF collab characters. Ooh, okay, interesting team. I really don't go against a lot of people that use the Red Melascula play. Unfortunately, if you know about the Red Melascula play, it's pretty easy to shut it down, but I think he's running ult gauge food and everything, so I really have to get rid of the Melascula, and then I need to draw an extra bond card to follow up on the melee here. I maybe should have just saved the level 2 card there, because I'm pretty sure we would have been able to kill with 2 level 1s. But the whole goal of this team is super gimmicky. That's the only reason I've never made the Melascula Relic, is because if you know how it works, it's really easy to shut it down. But it is cool because you can get a lot of damage off with it. But the idea behind it is that you just, if they attack your damage dealer and then they proc Melascula's Revive, you gain a lot of extra stats. Like, it's like a bunch of attack-related stats. If they're being resurrected or whatever, like if they're being held alive by Melascula's passive. So you can basically use that on top of True Magic and then like an AoE card, and just like insta-wipe the enemy team because you're just doing so much. But like I said, I mean, Red Melascula has been in the game for so long that it's not really uncommon to just go for her first anyway, because, like, why wouldn't you, you know? Like, why would you want to have to deal with the revive? So they kind of screwed themselves a little bit with that one. So we're going to get our ultimate here. We're going to lower his crit chance, and we're going to lower Estarosa's crit chance here. I'm going to have a stance up so he can't single target my Bond, and then we're pretty much GG'd at this point. We're dealing a lot of damage to this guy. So I don't know. I don't really recommend running stuff like that. It's really fun when it works out, and I can't knock the guy for trying to have fun. But unfortunately, when it comes to like the meta, it's insanely hard to get stuff like this off if it's one, a real player, and two, someone who actually knows what they're doing. So I don't know. It's just kind of a whole gimmick that's just kind of impossible to get off if you're going against anyone that's competent in this game, I guess. So this should be enough to hopefully kill, I would assume, and then just in case it's not, we'll just follow up on the melee here, because he's really the only threat. I don't think we're gonna have any problems killing off the Estarosa here, which almost a mil, easy peasy. Yeah, either way, I don't know. Parry's all right. His counters are pitiful. I don't have his outfit, so he definitely could be in a better spot. His ultimate, of course, is really good, but mine's low level, so I personally don't have the account or the setup really necessary to showcase him in like the best light possible. But overall, I would say he's still kind of a fun option. He's got ult control. I mean, I would say if the stance counters actually put on extra attack-related stat decreases from Bond's passive, it would be way better. Like, it would actually be a really good team. But because it doesn't, it just kind of ends up falling flat a little bit, because unless you're just stacking those to gain him stats and then ulting, it doesn't really matter too much. But I haven't seen anybody use Terry with him, so I just thought it would be kind of a fun experiment. I don't think it really did bad. You have a lot of ult control, and if you get the Bond cards you need, you got a lot of burst damage as well. But that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you in the next one.